Hey friends, welcome back. In this video, we're gonna take this 67 Chevy Nova. Came to us looking like this. And we're gonna bring it up to this stage. Let me tell you what, when this thing rolled in here, this thing was waving at you going down the road. I'm talking get your surfboards out. This thing had some waves in it. But that's all right, because we're gonna take care of that. Anyway, let's get at it, because we got our work cut out. Found a little bit of an issue with our roof here. I was blowing it off, and yeah, we got some peeling paint. So that's gonna be fun. It looks like the roof is really the only part that has it. I'll get you in here. See all these, there we go. See all these little bubbles? That's what's peeling off down to the sealer or primer that's underneath of it. And it looks like that's really the only spot on the car that has those bubbles like that. Well, I've been giving her with the DA on this thing, and yeah, this isn't feathering out. It just keeps ripping the paint back. So unfortunately, on the roof here, we gotta take all this blue off. Yep, great. This here, this feels good. Can run over that with some 180 after. And that would be ready for primer. Before I go too crazy getting this paint off the roof, I am gonna blow this off and clean it and wet check the roof. I got some wax and grease remover. I'm gonna wet the roof and see how it looks. Check for any dings, any waves or anything that we wanna take care of. Just kinda give us a little bit of a roadmap to what we're working with. Let that kind of level off for a minute. All right. Looking pretty good. I'm not really seeing anything that wouldn't block out with a couple good coats of primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep on keeping on that roof. Get all that blue off. New method, I'm gonna use the old razor blade. Much faster. And then we can just sand up our primer or sealer. I'm not sure what that is. It's not very thick, so I'm just thinking it's a sealer. and we'll be ready for primer. But still got a long way to go before then. The boy. I've gone ahead and got the roof feathered out here. All this primer up here is good. There was a little bit of ripples and stuff in here that I was able to get out. Brought it right down to bare metal. So this all feels pretty good. A little bit of a transition there from the bare metal to the paint, but a couple coats of primer and that'll be all right. This sail panel's pretty bad. They weren't the greatest from the factory, but I think we'll go ahead and apply a coat of filler to that and get that straightened out a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this dust off of here and get this ready for another coat, or should I say a coat of body filler. I just like to use a broom on this stuff before I blow it off. Just kind of keeps most of the dust out of the air. You know, not the greatest stuff to be breathing in if you can help it. But what do I know? Should be wearing a mask. And that I don't do either.
Happy little trees.
Another reason here why we're not going to go ahead and take this trim off is somebody siliconed it all on. I don't know if you can see that here. But yeah, so we'll have to get rid of all that because our paint's definitely not going to stick to it. That's great. don't be lazy like me. Take the trim off. Actually, take the trim off, but if you can't take it off, tape it off. I didn't. Now I gotta clean the Bondo off it. Gone ahead and put some filler on all our areas that needed attention. Yep. Don't look under there. Whew. Just kidding. Little 283. Nothing fancy. It's a high spot there. I think I can block most of it out. Not down to metal yet. Getting there. Haven't touched the hood yet. No good. So, to confirm, that's steel. That's fiberglass. You can see I don't know if they had that looking good at one time and stuff moved, but I would think the paint would have cracked. Maybe they just did a kind of a lousy job with the body work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how stable it will be, but it is what it is. So if you plan on doing any amounts of body work, you're probably gonna use a straight line sander. I would highly recommend this one right here, opposed to something like this. They work, but you don't get much life out of them. Even oiling them, they just don't seem to last. This here is probably $80 more than this one here, but that will last you a lot longer. This also has a spot here where you can pull this screw, tip it up, fill this with oil. I think I used 30 weight, and also oil it before every use. I did always oil this one, it just didn't last. Piston gets confused in there or something and it sticks, and I've taken it apart. And just spend the extra money, guys. Get an Ingersoll. You'll be much happier, and it's a tool that'll last you a long time. If you want to get a straight line on a body line or a curve, whatever, tape a line. And you just stand up to the line, your tape line, block up to it, peel the tape, you can switch it over, block up to the other side of it. Gives you a nice straight line every time. Now it's going to leave a pretty sharp line, so usually just run over it real quick, kind of round that off. There you go. So I've gone ahead and slapped on another coat of filler where it needed it. A couple areas down there, a little bit more here, a couple spots up there. So this will be the final coat. We'll block it out and the car should be ready for primer. Gave that another skim, really tight. Same with there. Everything up here is good. I had a couple spots on the bottom of the trunk here. Went ahead and gave those a coat. So we'll block that out and then we'll go over everything with 220 and we'll prime it. Oh yeah, I haven't touched the hood yet, saving that for last. I just wanted to say to you guys, this is something that you all can do. You can do this in your driveway, your shed, whatever, I don't know. That's what they call them in Australia, a shed. But anyway, lean-to, whatever. Biggest thing you will need is an air compressor. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much, you know, a couple $100 worth of tools. And that's stuff that you'll always have. I mean, you go spend $25,000, whatever, and bring this car to a shop, drop it off, say, here's my money, make it look nice. I mean, anybody can do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't have the will or want to do something on your own, that's the way to go, I guess. But yeah, what I'm getting at is you can do this and you can do it pretty cheap. I think I'll have probably, I don't know, 1,500 bucks into this paint job. And it's something that you can be proud of. Who cares if the molding didn't come off? Who cares if the door handles didn't come out? I mean, you're doing it yourself, you're learning, you know, whatever. And you're not dumping all kinds of money into it and having a car that you don't want to drive, you're afraid to leave in a parking lot. You know, it just, I've done nice cars and they don't become fun when you spend that kind of money and time. It's just something like this, a lot more fun. And if someone's gonna give you a hard time because you didn't do something, you know, that a $20,000 restoration shop job, the way that they would have done it, you know, who cares? You took the initiative to do it yourself, save a lot of money, and be proud of the car. I mean, my first paint job was a 86 Toyota pickup truck, 2-wheel drive. It was red and white, and it came out horrible. I mean, terrible. Dry everywhere, but I didn't care. You know, I drove that thing for years, and the paint job actually lasted. A couple of coats of wax every, I don't know, once, twice a year. And over time, that paint job actually kind of flattened out and wore down a little bit, and it actually looked pretty good for a number of years. And the bed rotted off of it, but that's Toyota for you. Well, I shouldn't say that. Toyota's a great truck. Probably one of the best little trucks I've ever had. I love Toyota, but we all know the issues with rust with the old Toyotas anyway. But yeah, back to this. I mean, who cares if it's not perfect? That's the moral of the story here. We are gonna paint the jambs on this car, so I'm gonna pull these plugs out. Hopefully I can get them out. They used to put these in there. They drill a hole and then use Z-Bart, which is, you know, like a form of undercoating wax type stuff. We do the same thing today with like fluid film or whatever. But yeah, I'll try and get these out. They get brittle over time, so hopefully I can get them out. I know I can get new ones, but I'd rather not. So I'm also gonna take this sill plate off because no sense trying to mess that up with just a couple of screws. Be about the only thing we do take off the car that's not already taken off. That over there. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Give me a hard time. Yeah. We'll have to sand these jams up with some 220. Got quite a bit of, oh, come on. Quite a bit of paint built up. We'll try and level it out and prime it and be good enough for in here. Alright, so I finally decided to go ahead and get to work on this hood. Sanded it down with some 80 grit, found our highs and lows. So just needs a little skim of filler, really not too bad. Slap some of this on. Should be good. When you put your filler on, try and put enough on so you don't have to keep applying coats, you know, sand it off. Find that you're still too low, have to put more on. Just put enough on there. You're gonna sand it off anyway. Make your life a lot easier. And with something like this, instead of doing each little spot, just go ahead and fill this whole area. Over there you got one playing field. You're not trying to sand out one little area. And what ends up happening is you create a high and the low, high. So we got that low spot right here. Just gonna go ahead and give that a quick skim. Got this sanded up with 220. Got our bodywork feathered out, and this thing's gonna go outside and get blown off and get ready for primer. So let's go ahead and move her out. Hopefully this thing will start. Got a little body filler on the edge of this fender here. Just gonna get rid of that. I think I'll give it a quick wipe down and we'll start masking it up. We'll try this stuff. I got this on Amazon. Usually I use the 3M yellow, but that stuff's getting pretty pricey. Do here is kind of just take our tape, make a flip piece like that. And we'll tape that vent off, and we'll just kind of blow some primer on here. Don't want to create a hard line there. Get you guys in here, show you how I'm kind of masking this up. So I'm just running this tape down a little bit past the molding almost to the body, and then just take your fingernail, hopefully you got some, and then just kind of tuck it under there and run it along. Just like that. And then that allows your paint, primer, whatever to get in there. You can kind of see here what I mean. Somebody didn't tape it like the way I just did, and it leaves, you know, some overspray. Well, actually it's not overspray, you're painting the molding. So get that tape wrapped around underneath there, and that'll avoid that. You also want to try and run as long of a piece of tape as you can. Actually, it can go all the way here. And by doing that, it's just going to help you when you go to unmask it. You're not going to be peeling off a little piece, trying to pick it, a little piece. You know where I'm going. This here, you can just grab an end and you peel the whole string of tape off. Okay, so let's try this stuff out. Never used it before. My life unit. Step 1, fix the tape. Step 2, tear off the tape. Step 3, unfold the film. Step 4, touch self adhesively. Well, let's give it a shot. 55 centimeters. 110 centimeters. Well, hopefully this one folds out big enough. Perfect. You guys want to be kind of careful what you use for plastic. Make sure it is an automotive masking film. Don't just use any type of plastic, because sometimes what will happen is the paint will dry on it, and when the air comes across it, it'll flutter and the paint won't stick to it. It'll fly off, land in your paint job, and that's not good. Trust me, I've been there. Some of them will say paint this side. Make sure that you have that facing up, or else, like I just explained, the same thing will happen. And it makes a mess. So I've gone ahead and masked everything up here. I did it so I can open the door, and also I don't want to get primer right up to the handle, so I kind of did a reverse roll here with my tape, and I'll just keep it away, keep the primer away. You don't want to make a hard line there, so just kind of fade it around it and it'll sand out nice. And got it so I can open the door and prime inside the jams too. Ready for primer! I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready. Get some primer on this thing tomorrow, and then we'll give it a block, get some paint on it. Anyway, that's for tomorrow. Tonight I gotta go mow my lawn because that thing's getting out of control. That's what we're using. Let's go ahead and get that mixed up on our shaker here that mounts into the vise. Go ahead and give this thing a wash. You can buy fancy towels from your paint supply, lint-free, but these stock lint-free towels work fine. You get them at your local O'Reilly's, AutoZone, whatever. Right there, that's a low spot. That's a ding. So I'm gonna put some extra primer on that, and small enough that I think we'll be able to get it out with primer. I hope. This works pretty slick. I just took a piece of 1/8 inch plate, cut it out kind of roughly to the shape of the base of this paint shaker, welded a piece of angle iron on it, a couple supports. Works good. Slam it in your vise and yeah. Just an idea. I didn't want to mount it to the bench because I do a lot of other stuff on here and grinding and all that type of stuff, so this I can put away and it's out of the way. Do have a little bit of rust right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of give that a quick scuff. Probably touched it and didn't wash it off. Sweat from my hand. I'm gonna lay a coat of primer on this thing here. I made this for a real good friend of mine. Goes on the back fender of his Harley. He does all kinds of crazy stunts and wheelies, and it's just a plate for him to put his foot on when he's standing straight up on his, I don't know what he does. Real nice guy, super nice. So I'll be glad to get this back to him. All right, mix up some primer. Always check, make sure you don't have any chunks on the bottom or real thick on the bottom. I think this stuff is 4:1. Where are you? Oh boy. Gonna make me check a tech sheet. I'm pretty sure it's 4:1, but we better double check. Okay, 4:1 confirmed. Just check the tech sheet and that's what it calls for. I don't know. Some people have a hard time reading these. I don't know if I can shine a little light on it for some of you, but these are your ratios on the top. And if you come over here, see 4:1. It's actually 4:1, but I don't put any reducer in it. You can, but it builds much better without reducer. So here you got your 4:1. Come up. This is your parts of 4. You can come up 1 part all the way to 8. Whatever you go to here. So say you go to 6, then you come up to 6 with your hardener, and then 6 with your reducer. If you had a 3:1, same thing. You come up to the 2. Say you're doing a clear coat, 3:1. Probably come in a little closer here. Come up to 3 with your clear. Come up to 3 with your hardener. And come up to 3 with your reducer. And that gives you a 3:1 mix. You can also do it over here. If you're doing a 1:1 and you only want a small mix, come up to the 1. Another part of 1:1 equals 2. Come up to the 2. It's a 50-50 mix, 1:1, what have you. But anyway, I hope that helps. I know some people get a little confused with that. All cups are pretty much the same. Some of them have different ratios on them, but yeah. We're gonna do a 4:1 mix, and I'm gonna go up to the 8. I'll probably take a couple cups of this to prime that car. This can also help you guys out a little bit. Pouring out a full gallon into a cup. Just kind of make a little dam like that. Ugh. All right. So, I'm gonna come up to the 8. And I'm a little above, so just keep that in mind. Just go above the same on the next 8. Just leave that off. Oh, almost went in my coffee. There you have it. 4:1 mix. Nothing special here, guys. Just a Harbor Freight $16 spray gun, 1.4 tip. Or for you Canadians, Princess Auto. I've never been to a Princess Auto, but I think it's kind of like a Harbor Freight. If this was paint, we'd want to strain it, but primer, nah, don't worry about it. You want to make sure you wear a mask when you're priming with a 2K, actually any primer. But 2K primers have isocyanates, not good for the old lungs. Let's hit it. Gotta put the homemade ventilation in. Cross-graft spray booth. What can I say? So our roof was pretty bad. I went ahead and put one coat on that. Now I'm just gonna go around and hit all the spots we did body work to and areas that I know are gonna take a little extra. And if you see something that you're not happy with, like some deep scratches or whatever, try to avoid just bailing the primer on, because what can happen is you can bridge the scratch. If it's deep, you'll bridge it, and then the primer will shrink and it'll pull in after you sand it, and it will pull into that scratch and you'll see it through your paint. So just light coats, let it flash off in between each coat. Be good. Let's not forget our buddy. That stuff you should pick up before you prime. And obviously I overlooked it. I don't think we're gonna fill that in with primer, so we'll give it a block. And then if we have to, we'll just give it a real tight skim coat with a little bit of glaze. Ah, no. Good thing we're not painting. Go ahead and shut this off. All right, so I've gone ahead and hit all of our problem areas with 2 coats of primer. Did 3 on the sail panels because I knew those were pretty bad. So we'll go ahead and we'll give everything 2 coats and that should be good. Shut that. Yeah, so 2 coats over everything. I'm gonna let this flash off for probably 20 minutes, half an hour. It's pretty hot out today, so shouldn't take too long. And here's what I was talking about when we were masking. You just wanna, I will hit this, but you don't wanna build up a lot around that tape edge. All right, gun's all cleaned up. Clean this mess up. We used, probably got a little less than a quart left in there. Go ahead and take our little dam off our paint. Put that in there. Ugh. Hey. Why are you so angry, guy? Look at me like that. Okay. 2 coats of primer applied. Overall, looks pretty good. One thing I'm gonna go ahead and do before I shut this down is peel this tape off. You don't want that to harden around these edges because you'll have a real hard time peeling that off. So I'm gonna go around, peel all that off, and I think that's gonna do it for this video, guys. On the next one, we'll apply a guide coat, and then we'll do some blocking and get this thing ready for paint, and then we'll shoot it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't, please like and subscribe, and thank you to everybody that has, and we'll see you on the next one.